Welcome to a new episode of Vipers Voices and Vipers Voices for video as well. And I'm delighted to say that alongside me I've got the Desert Vipers Director of Cricket, Tom Moody. Good morning to you, Tom. We're just a handful of days away from the tournament now. How are things standing as far as you're concerned?
They're standing very well. Obviously everyone's very excited to go into season 2 of the ILT20 and the team behind the scenes, the management and everyone that's part of bringing it all together have worked very, very hard over a number of months to bring it to life, and we can't wait for our first game. Our players are starting to trickle in, and our squad's looking nearly complete in preparation for our first game.
Tom, there are several storylines or themes already from season 2. It's Colin Munro's continuation as captain. That was a no-brainer, wasn't it?
Absolutely. He did a great job last year. It's always tricky for a captain with a new franchise, but not only a new franchise, but with a new tournament. So we saw it was the first year last year, so he had to sort of shoulder a lot of responsibility with all the obstacles, bringing a team together, but also a new franchise sort of finding their feet in a new tournament. So Colin's got a vast amount of experience around the cricketing globe, particularly in T20 cricket. Hence, he was given the opportunity to begin with, and he did a great job on the field and off the field for us, and hopefully he can take us one step further this year.
Well, Colin also features in another of the storylines or themes, if you like, leading into season 2, because he opened the batting for Brisbane Heat in the latest edition of the BBL. He's come here now from that. He did it with reasonable success as well. He got 99 not out in the first game of the Heat's tournament there. Dan Lawrence has been doing likewise in the T20 Blast last year, in the BBL as well. He's been going quite nicely. And of course, you've got Alex Hales and Rohan Mustafa, who did such a good job at the top of the order in season 1, back again. You've got a little bit of a headache, but a good headache.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what you want. You want those sort of selection challenges. There's nothing worse than having the opposite problem where you're sort of finding roles for people that are not familiar with those positions, whether it be at the top of the order or whether it be with the ball in any phase of the game. So, Colin, over his playing career, has occupied anywhere from 1 to 5 in the batting order, and hence he's such a desirable player in this format because he is so flexible and has equal sort of impacts in different roles. But as you quite rightly said, with the Brisbane Heat, who have had a terrific BBL so far, he's been very central to their success at the top of the order. So no surprise to see him in the runs, and it's great that he's coming to us in some really good form. Whether he finds himself at the top of the order or at 3 or 4, we'll see when the opening day begins, because we don't want to give too much away too early.
Well, keep your powder dry on that one then. But another thing to chat about, of course, is the influx of the Pakistanis. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Shadab Khan, Azam Khan, Mohammed Amir as well. What's the thinking behind the Vipers going down that particular route?
Well, obviously Pakistan boasts world-class players, and we were very hopeful to have them involved in season 1 because it seemed very obvious. If we're looking to build a strong squad, you have to look at every cricketing nation, and Pakistan has had a good relationship with the UAE over a number of years through different circumstances that they've faced that have been off the field, where they've had to play a lot of cricket here, so they've got a lot of experience in Dubai, and we felt it was important also just to not only try to build the stronger squad, but also look at the things that happen off the field, and that is that looking at the fan base and connecting with the fan base, and having some of Pakistan's best players available to us. Hopefully that ignites the flame of a new fan base here in the UAE to follow the Desert Vipers, because we've got hopefully some of their favourite players.
I guess, though, one of the other issues that's coming up, of course, is that you haven't got quite a few of those Pakistan players at the start of the tournament. There's a chance you're going to lose them at the end of the tournament because the final of the ILT20 overlaps with the start of the PSL. I guess you've had to take all those things into consideration.
Yeah, look, every team faces the same challenge, not so much with Pakistan players, but with players from other cricketing nations where you have those fixture challenges where some teams have whether it be Test series, the ODI series or T20 series clashing with either beginning of the tournament or the end of the tournament or somewhere in between. So I don't think the Pakistan players are alone with them coming and going, and we're certainly not as a franchise alone with regards to that challenge. And I think that is the landscape of T20 cricket these days, is that in an ideal world you'd want to pick a squad of whatever that number may be and have that squad from start to finish. But even there's only really one franchise tournament in the world that can carry that out, and that's the IPL. Whether it be Big Bash or anything else, you're going to have players coming and going.
And of course, I guess one of the reasons the league has brought in wild cards is to try and compensate for that. 2 extra players allowed in a squad, the salary cap going up, and already the Vipers have used 1 wild card with Dan Lawrence coming into to the squad. What's your understanding of the wild card situation, and are you happy it's been introduced?
Yeah, look, I in a way I am happy because we've used it, but I think in an ideal world, you'd want those types of new innovations brought to the table a lot earlier than what they have done in this particular season. It came very late, so it was, I think it was a decision made by the league based on the challenge around fixtures, whether it be the series that's due to happen with Sri Lanka against Afghanistan. That takes a lot of world-class players, particularly T20 players, out of contention. So they very much wanted to have the flexibility, I suppose, it gives you to be able to bring those players into your tournament. And also the SA T20 League, it also opens the door for the opportunity for some of the world-class players to come in to our tournament. Looking at it from a positive angle, what we're getting is the best cricketers in the world in this tournament at some stage, whether it be late in the tournament or early in the tournament.
With all the comings and goings, are you clear in your own mind who's coming and when they're coming and who's going and when they're going? So I guess you can then start to formulate possible 11s for different stages of the tournament?
Well, we hope so. We hope we're getting there. What we have is a strong squad in all departments that carries, strength in all departments. We boast a very strong bowling attack, and as we know, with fast bowlers, there's no guarantee they're going to remain fit throughout a tournament. We've got a very congested fixtures this season, 2 lots of back-to-back games. So it's managing players as well. We don't want to sort of burn players out, and if we've got the depth in our squad and it doesn't really compromise the best 11 that we can put out there, we'll use the flexibility and the depth and quality of our squad to do so. So at this stage, we're very comfortable going into season 2.
The other big change this year is the Super Sub. What's your experience of that and how it might work?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one because again, it's going to, bring the standard of the cricket and the tournament up to another notch. It was a high standard in the first season. Basically, the understanding is, if you're winning the toss, your 12th man is going to be a specialist bowler, and if you bat, that is if you bat first, and then you swap over. You sub out one of your top order batters that may not look to bowl for that specialist bowler. So whether that be a pace bowler that's a specialist, maybe someone like a Matisa Patharana or a Tymel Mills or whoever it might be, carrying that position as the sub, may not play a batting role, but they'll come in and play a significant role with the ball, which is what they're basically employed to do.
You're happy with the Super Sub coming in? It's been used in other tournaments.
Yeah, we saw it introduced last year in the IPL. They called it the impact player in the IPL. And at first, I was a little bit sort of unsure about the whole thing, purely because as a former all-rounder, I look at, the all-rounders in the game, it nearly supersedes that particular role and the importance of that role, because effectively that 12th man enables you to have a specialist batter and a specialist bowler, which is your all-round package. So the jury's still out, I feel, with regards to the impact of that particular skill of being an all-rounder. And the other aspect of it is, I personally would have liked to have seen the super sub rule used specifically for UAE players against just exclusively for the overseas players, purely because it enables you then to be able to play 3 UAE players in your playing 11. UAE players are getting more exposure. You can play a specialist UAE batter and a specialist bowler. You get then more players getting exposed to top level cricket, and ultimately, obviously, we're all here to develop the game here in the region, and that was one way you could have done it.
You mentioned UAE players there. What are your expectations for the UAE contingent? 4 at the moment: Aryan Lakra, Rohan Mustafa, Ali Nazir and Kartik Mayappan. 2 of them you know very well, of course, because Rohan Mustafa and Ali Nazir were part of the squad in season 1, and 2 who've come in from elsewhere.
Yeah, look, we're very excited. We obviously have got a real spin focus, and it provides us with that that depth and options with an additional leg break bowler and a left arm spinner. So again, you mentioned about the selection table, finalising the 2 UAE players that you're playing 11. We're going to have a headache there as well, because what we've seen so far, all 4 have shown great promise, and we're excited about what they can potentially bring to the table.
And the 2 new associates this season, Baz de Leyder, fresh off the back of an outstanding ICC Cricket World Cup with the ball, certainly, and Michael Jones as well, the Durham batter. They're both Durham players, in fact.
Yep.
Michael Jones from Scotland. 2 more exciting recruits.
Yeah, absolutely. Jones is a power hitter, hits the ball, very cleanly. He's got a huge amount of upside in what he can provide the side. So we've had, obviously, a glimpse of him over the last few days, and he's hit the ground running, which is great. And Baz de Leyder is, again, a really exciting all-round prospect. So we're excited to see what he can bring to the party with both bat and ball. And he holds down some really important roles in other teams that he plays. Whether that be sort of taking the death overs for the teams that he plays for, or plays that finishing role. So there's a lot of upside in both those players.
Well, this season, Tom, the Vipers, along with the Gulf Giants, the 2 finalists from season 1, I guess they're going to be the hunted sides rather than the hunters, because they were so far ahead of the other 4 teams last season. Are you happy to be one of the sides to be shot at?
Oh, look, I think at the start of any season, every team will feel that they have a strong chance to be there sort of at the final dance, so to speak. I think every side's got a target on their back, to be honest with you, because I think there's some really good players, and all the franchises done a great job with regards to their recruitment. So what other teams bring to the party this year, well, that's really up to how they get their campaign up and running. But we're certainly confident in building on last year. We felt we've done a good job with regards to the recruitment side of things. We've got some exciting new players to add from last year. So, watch this space. Hopefully, we can take it to another level.
One of the players who's not going to be here in season 2 is a player who was integral to you in season 1, Tom Curran. What's the situation there?
Yeah, unfortunately for Tom, he had to cut his BBL season short with a knee injury. He's had a sort of a niggly knee for a number of months now, and he was hoping to work through that and get through the BBL and then obviously come and join us and have another a great season with us, which he did in the first year. But unfortunately, it sort of just got to a point where he couldn't manage it, day in, day out, and he had to make the difficult decision to sort of step away from the ILT20 this year. He'll be a big loss to us because he's not only a a real impact player on the field with bat and ball, but his impact off the field is certainly considerable. So he's at this stage seeing specialists with that knee. I'm not sure exactly what path he's going to take, whether it's going to be just a intensive rehab or whether he goes down any other route. But we certainly wish him well, Tom, because he's integral part of the Desert Vipers, and hopefully has a long and fruitful future with us.
How easy, Tom, or how hard will it be to recreate what the squad had in season one? The team spirit, the togetherness, it was so evident even to people I think outside the camp, the spirit within the group. Will it be possible to recreate that this time round?
Yeah, I think so, very much. Be on our agenda, and I think that spirit you talk about is a culture that's created within the playing group, and the personnel are pretty much the same with regards to the coaching staff who help sort of set the tone with regards to that. We've still got obviously a lot of players that we had in season one, so they know what the expectations are and how much fun that first season was. So they'll be very keen to get that atmosphere within the group and bring the new players up to speed as quick as possible. So, to me, particularly in this format of the game, it's such an important part of your campaign is creating that positive energy around, whether it be training or match day or any social event, and that will be very much in the forefront of everyone's mind.
And Tom, let's talk about the green credentials of the side. You've got green on. The training gear has changed to green this year. You can see it even entering the team room at the team hotel. There's a water cooler there, not a fridge, so there's no plastic bottles. That's just one of the changes that's been made. Will the desire of the franchise to go green, which is very well publicised, fit in with the ambitions on the field, do you think?
Oh, without a doubt. I think it's just, the franchise as a whole, but the playing group are very aware of, what the reality of what's happening, on the global stage, whether it be, floods or whether it be bushfires or whatever it may be. And if we can change our behaviour around how we go about things, whether it be using, water bottles against using plastics, or just changing small things around match day and not having plastic bottles around the ground and having reusable water bottles, or whether it be match day training or just around the hotel in general. I think those small things can make that little difference and set an example, hopefully, for other sporting organisations, or whether it be school children or anyone else that's out there watching the Desert Vipers and are fans of the Desert Vipers.
And just finally, Tom, can you win it this time? And if so, why do you think that?
Yeah, look, absolutely. We feel very confident in what we've done in our prep. We feel that we've recruited exceptionally well, so we know we're going to have a few obstacles with players coming and going, but at the end of the day, we, like every franchise, have set our sights on lifting that trophy at the end. We were one step short last year, but we feel we've got the depth and quality of our squad right, and we just have to prepare in the last few days into our first game. Hopefully we can get off to a winning start.
Tom Moody, Director of Cricket at the Desert Vipers, thanks so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to speak to you and a pleasure to chat about the build-up to the second season of DP World ILT20. A reminder, the first game for the Desert Vipers against the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders at the Dubai International Stadium, and that's on Sunday, the 21st of January.